Alright, in this video, we're going to take a look at the parts of a guitar equipped with a Floyd Rose bridge. For those who aren't familiar with it, a Floyd Rose is a type of tremolo system where the strings are locked in place using a mechanism located in the bridge. This screw tightens a metal block, which then presses the string against the front wall inside the saddle, locking it in place. At the nut, string clamps are installed to secure the strings between the nut and the bridge. In theory, this keeps the strings from binding or slipping anywhere along the guitar, helping to maintain tuning stability. Of course, the guitar will still go out of tune over time, but the idea is to minimize that as much as possible. Like many other guitars, this one has tuners, in this case 6 in line. But there are also Floyd Rose-equipped guitars with a 3+3 tuner configuration. Some Les Pauls have Floyd Rose bridges. Neil Schon is well known for using Les Pauls with Floyds. A distinctive feature of these guitars, though it's not very common anymore, is the string retainer, which we also find on Fender guitars. This piece helps maintain the correct break angle of the strings from the nut to the tuners. Why is this important? Here we can see what I'm talking about. Without the string retainer, the string will exit directly to the tuner post at a shallower angle. And when you tighten the clamp pads, the string stretches even more. If in any case it is normal for the strings to go out of tune a little, no retainer will increase the problem. Like the case on Jackson guitars, where the strings tend to want to pop out of the locking nut. That's the name of this piece, this mechanical nut screwed onto the neck. Now let's go ahead and remove these. With these screws, you can see here. This is a SuperStrat style guitar. What does that mean? It's basically an evolution of the Stratocaster design. Part of being a SuperStrat, we see how the body and headstock are clearly inspired by a Strat, but SuperStrats often feature humbuckers, like a Les Paul. This guitar also has just one volume knob and a pickup selector. It's a bolt-on guitar. You can see its neck plate, meaning the neck is attached to the body with screws. Not all SuperStrats are bolt-on, but this one is. Around the back we can see the bridge system. In this case, the Floyd Rose has been blocked to allow for string changes and setup. Normally there would be 2, 3, or even 4 springs connecting to this component called the claw, this piece right here. These 2 screws allow us to increase or decrease the spring tension to match the pull of the strings so that the bridge returns to a 0 position. You'll also see the electronics cavity. A common feature of Strat and SuperStrat guitars is the belly rest, a contour that makes the guitar more comfortable against your body. And the armrest, a soft bevel where your picking arm rests. Most Telecasters or Les Pauls don't have these body cuts. These cuts were implemented on the Strat as some sort of an improvement to make the playing experience more comfortable. Something similar to the cut at the back of the lower horn to give better access to the upper frets. Speaking the body, instead of shoulders we have horns, upper and lower. That's what they're called. You can call them shoulders and that's fine too. Then we have the waist in the middle and the hips or lower bout down below. As we've mentioned in other videos, guitar parts often get names from human anatomy. Now let's take a closer look at the tremolo unit. The Floyd Rose has a few specific features. For example, here you can see copper shims that we installed to match the fingerboard radius. Like we saw in a previous video, with a Telecaster, normally the saddle height can be adjusted to match the fingerboard radius using the saddle's height screws. But in this case, copper shims were needed to achieve the correct radius across the bridge. Each of these individual parts is called a saddle, and it holds a string in place. And these screws are used to set intonation. On a Strat or Telecaster, intonation screws come from behind the bridge plate, and turning them moves the saddle forward or backward, using a spring and the string's tension. With a Floyd Rose, however, you need to loosen this screw first to release the saddle before making intonation adjustments. Very important, always loosen the string before doing this. If not, the saddle may shift suddenly due to the string tension. So, always loosen the string. Or, alternatively, you can use a tool called the key, or similar, that lets you move the saddle to adjust the intonation without detuning the string. Another feature of the Floyd Rose is the bridge plate itself. You'll notice two threaded posts on either side. By turning these posts, we can raise or lower the entire bridge plate. Once the radius is set, we can then adjust the overall string height all at once, similar to a tune-o-matic bridge, which also uses two threaded posts to raise or lower the bridge. In other words, string height is not adjusted individually like it would be on a Strat or Telecaster. What's next? These small metal blocks here are used to clamp the strings in place. And we have these screws we will tighten using an Allen wrench of the correct size to lock the string. To change strings on this kind of bridge, simply loosen these screws to release the string. We'll cover that in a separate video on how to string a Floyd Rose. Another key feature of this bridge is the fine tuners. These let you adjust each string's tuning after the strings have been locked at the nut. This is essential because once the strings are locked, the tuners at the headstock are no longer functional. That's why the fine tuners allow for precise adjustments. One important thing I forgot to mention is the socket or hole for the tremolo bar. The bar is critical to achieving all the expressive effects a tremolo system provides, hence its importance. Depending on the model and brand, the bar may be screw-in or push-in style. There's not much more to say about this guitar, other than it features a maple fingerboard and a maple neck. The truss rod adjustment nut is located at the heel. Yeah, it is one of those. It also has a skunk stripe, which covers the channel where the truss rod was installed. And that's it for this review of a guitar with a Floyd Rose bridge. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, share, give it a like, hit the bell, follow us on social media, visit our website, and of course, leave your comments to help us grow the channel and maybe a super thanks tip. See you in the next video.